Every evening, at the end of evening prayer, every priest and every deacon who is praying the church's liturgy of the hours, the breviary, ends it basically with that gospel that you just heard. My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord, the great hymn of Mary. And it makes us ask, why is she so important? Well, today tells us a lot about that. Today's great feast of the Assumption, we remember that Mary is called the mother of the church and the model for all Christians. And I think perhaps today's feast for many is a bit elusive. It's the Assumption of her into heaven. What does that have to do with us? But if you put it in the context of Mary's entire life, it makes a tremendous amount of sense. Think of it. The first time we really see Mary, she listens to the message of God through the angel Gabriel. Second thing, she says yes to what God asks her to do, to bring his son into the world. The third thing is that she actually does that. She brings Jesus into our world. And then she follows him and cares for him and loves him all her life. And then finally, at the end of that life, she is taken up into glory with her son into heaven. What does that have to do with our lives as Christians if Mary really is the mother of the church and the model for all Christians? The same things happen to us if we think about it. God speaks to us. Do we listen? Mary listened. God asks us to do something in our lives, something holy, something important, something beautiful. Do we say yes to that? God asks us to do our small part in bringing the face of Jesus into the world. Do we work and try to make that a reality? Then God asks us to follow Jesus all our lives, to follow his teachings, to follow his example. Do we do that? And then finally, at the end of our life, God promises us that he will be with us and that he wants us up in glory in heaven with his son Jesus, with the mother of Jesus, and all the saints. The Assumption. So if you think about it, our whole life is involved with today's feast, as was the case with Mary, that we have the opportunity in life to hear God's message, to say yes to it, to incredibly help bring Jesus a little more into the world, to follow him all our lives in humility. And then in the end, we hope to be called into glory, into heaven. And so we have basically 4 things to do and one final thing, today's feast, which can be done for us. What a wonderful life it is to realize that even when we have things to do, they are wondrous, they are glorious, they are beautiful, and they all center around Jesus. And Mary shows us not only how to do it, but that it can be done. Today, as we celebrate the Assumption of the Mother of God, let us ask God to help us follow her example, that we might be people who help bring the face of Jesus into a world that needs it now more than ever, and that at the end of our lives, we may see that face in the paradise that God has waiting for us.